G'day, friends and fans. Welcome to Tabletop News. I'm your host, the author, David Applegate, author of the books The Boyhood Arcade, Power Games, Into the Elves Mound, and The Erotic Tales from the Empire. Part 1 and 2 is out now. Part 3 is on its way. All my social media links and book links are in the link tree. You can scan it on your phone now or wait till after the show. Starting with my favourite site, the Bundle of Holding. No, we're starting with Backer Kit. No, usually we would start with the Bundle of Holding. Today we're starting with Backer Kit. This is a new launch from Chaosium. Time Without Tide, Mirth and Mystery in the World of Fog. Follow the campaign, sign up now, and discover Mirth and Mystery role-playing in the World of Fog. And if you sign up early, you get a free pin when you reserve your pledge. Time Without Tide. It's a role-playing game of exploration and adventure within a fog-shrouded, faux Victorian post-apocalyptic world. You're a deliverer. One of the determined heroes who journey beyond fortified walls on fantastic voyages into the world of fog. Lanterns held high to ward off the unknown. You face bizarre horrors, discover glimmering marvels, and protect the odd survivors from the fallen moon. Wow. So who can save humanity? It's a combination of story and strategy. As you can see, they're going quite for the westernized anime aesthetics. You can see the what is it? Lime? No. Pale? No. I can't quite put my hand on the green, but the green aesthetic, yes. It's very similar to the green aesthetic used on other projects they've had involving Kalathu. So I'm wondering if it's there, that link, or it's just the color scheme works so well for them. We'll find out, won't we, in 10 days. Moving on to the Bundle of Holding. GURPS. GURPS has got a pretty bad rap lately for being too complex and too mathematical for the Zoomers. As you know, with the Zoomers, they tend to love solo games and things that have few dice, few rules, and pretty much easy wins. Sorry, Zoomers, you are really stretching this. You're really giving yourself a bad rap, okay? Math is hard. Math is racist. I'm sick of hearing it, okay? Math is thinking. That's what you're saying. GURPS 4th edition. Revived from 2023, the superpowered supplements from GURPS 4th edition. The starter collection, $9.95, gets you started with superpowers, hopefully powers expansions for the 4th edition of GURPS, the generic universal role-playing system from Stephen Jackson Games. The superpowered supplements require 2 volumes of GURPS 4th edition rules from the revived 2022 4th edition Essentials. If you have not got Essentials, then you need it to go along with this to play superpowers. However, if you're really, really into collecting, you want the hardcover from Warehouse 23. That is Steve Jackson Games' official site. Now, for $9.95, you get the 4th edition supplements for superpowers. Level Up, which I recommend you do. And above the threshold price of $34.96, you get 13 more titles. Now, pay the minimum and you get GURP Supers. Powers like unto the gods. Yes. GURP Supers is a comprehensive sourcebook for superpowered adventures of all kinds. You've got various rules for equipment, vehicles, bases, automa, and spells, as well as perks, quirks, enhancements, limitations, and techniques. You got, oh no, it's a complex game. What does complexity give you? Strategy, options, branching adventures beyond. I go from A to B in 14 different variations. That's all you get. Yeah. When you're binary, you're brain dead, bro, folks. Go for more complex games. Stop complaining about 5th edition going woke. Just go out there and find many a game on Bundle Holding and many other sites. There are more options than D&D, and yeah, just don't, you know. Now, to go along with supers is powers. More powers to save the world or destroy it. Yes. This is the ultimate group for ultimate characters. Create everything you need for wizards, Waxar warriors, shamans who command spirits, and even guards. Where, yes. So, remember, Steve Jackson's the guy who created Munchkins, okay? So, yeah, superpowers are Munchkins, is Munchkinning. If you know Munchkin, if basically everyone else is a Munchkin, you're God. You cannot lose. You have the multi-barreled wand of Megadeth, and you go from house to house, and you win every game. Yes, the up and away Superman, and that's what killed the TV series. Now, for some people, they get it. And I enjoy that. For everyone else, Power Up Collection, which I recommend everyone level up and get. And that is expansions. Expand your mind, expand the rules, expand your options. GURPS, power expansions, divine favor, enhanced senses, totems and nature spirits, the weird. All of these add different things. Divine favor, as it suggests, a complete system for miraculous intervention. Enhanced senses, sensory powers for a wide range of campaigns. Totems of new spirit is a wide range of spirits associated with animals, locations, nature forces. You can call upon them, invoke, and how to work with spirits, get advice, obtain powers of all kind, everything you need in the spiritual world in this material. Zavid, some mad scientists, the superhuman bizarre abilities of the fantastical horror and science fiction that attract labels like bizarro, psychedelic, and surreal. 65 abilities to push the boundaries of mind and body. Zavid. And 9 more power-ups. If you talents, perks, enhancements, and more. Everything you need to channel exotic forces, increase abilities cheaply, or buy character points or buy success and influence in the game world. Yes, it is an amazing collection. And to some extent, I do like GURPS, but I find some of it's I find some of it is too rules light and other parts too rules heavy. It is not a very well balanced game, but it is a very, very interesting game to play nevertheless. Moving on, fourth edition Space. Fourth edition Space. The starter collection is $12.95. This is GURPS 4th edition week. We reach the stars with the revival of the 2022 GURPS Space bundle, featuring starfaring supplements for the 4th edition. Here we have bargain basement price, 3 titles to get you started in space. However, level up, which I recommend you do, $35.04 is the price. Above and beyond that, you get 10 more supplements. Now, pay the minimum and get 4th edition Space. This is the rulebook supplement to get you started. However, this just gets you started. You want to build spaceships, you're going to need spaceships. 6 levels of technology, from lifeboats to dreadnoughts. Death Stars. They're Death Stars. GURPS Psionic Powers. With science fiction comes fantasy magic. Yes, science. From science fiction to science fantasy. Manium. Psychic powers. Beyond the power of the mind. Level up, which I recommend you do. You get 6 more spacecraft source books. Now, you get various different ship types, deck plans, and you along the way you get different rules for different scenarios based on the ships, right? Mining, industrial, colonization, fighters, mechs, pirates, traders, and the divergent and paranormal technology. Now, 3 psionic sourcebooks, basically adding more powers, more templates, and more campaign options for your psychers, for your psychotic friend. See, in the future, being a psychotic is a job. Tales of the Solar Panel. Actually, it's a job now. It's good, the government. Tales of the Solar Patrol. Now, this is an adventure, a terrifying war with the overlord of Jupiter. The Solar Patrol was commissioned to police the interplanetary space lanes, protecting traffic from pirates and the insidious Red Hive. Drawing inspiration from serials, novels, comics, radio shows of the 30s, 40s, and 50s. This is an original retro future history where computers use punch cards, the swamps of Venus are home to strange natives, and the almighty Tesla coil makes it possible for humanity to explore and colonize the solar system. Get your tinfoil hat ready. Get out your templates, equipment, and chips you need to be space patrolmen of the future. To infinity and beyond! Oops, wrong salute. I know it's the other arm. I'm just pulling your leg and seeing how many people will freak out. And what's this? What's happened here? Wait. Oh, all right. I think I'm still live. Hold on. Yes, live. Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh, how kind. Someone gave me a like. Thank you. All right. I got to keep an eye on this page to make sure it doesn't fall asleep on me. That's all. And because if it falls asleep and locks up within a few seconds, if I don't activate the page again, it disconnects me. And I thought I was disconnected because it wouldn't activate. But yes, I'm live. I'm live. I'm telling you, I'm alive. GURPS 4th edition space. It's very interesting and it's very Traveller-esque. I know that. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of the systems are pulled directly from Traveller, but it's neither here nor there. Every game borrows rules from every other game. Otherwise, all you'd have is two guys playing dice the old Roman way and flipping a coin if they're the same. Yeah. GURPS 4th edition fantasy. Again, a revival of a previous GURPS. They're all revivals from it's been 4 years. Wow. So I got this when it came out. GURPS can be fun in the right hands. Otherwise, it's just you playing spreadsheet all day. Although there are people who play spreadsheet all day. They're called, what's that game again? Eve. Eve Online. And they did it with WoW too. There was a lot of spreadsheeters on WoW when it first came out too. Max Mini is what we used to call it, but now it seems to be spreadsheeting. Oh, this guy knows how to use Excel. Yes. Excel. And add-ons for Excel. All right, so I used to be a VB programmer for Excel, actually doing quite complex mathematics in formula. Yes, so gosh, I am so much fun, aren't I? All right, 4th edition starter pack, 1995, gets you the introductory kit set to get you started with GURPS Fantasy. However, a level up, which I recommend you do, for $38.22 and above, you can get an additional 7 more titles worth an additional $106. Pay the minimum and get GURPS Fantasy 4th edition. Create campaigns of your dreams, hence fantasy. Magic. Yes, if you want magic, you buy magic separately. Ha! Expand your mind, open up and learn strange new wonderful powers. Brainstorm. Right. This is the magical realms of varied race and monsters, including people snatched from our Earth and other worlds by the cataclysmic Brainstorm. It's riffs. Characters on the windsplit planes of the nomadic lands. It's riffs. And yeah. Nordic warriors seek a valiant death to earn a seat in Valhalla. Alphabet Arcane. 26 unusual items for GURPS Fantasy campaign. Level up, which I recommend you do, and you get Thermatology. What's that? It's basically the advanced study of magic. Variations of magic to make it more magical, more variant, more powerful. Various features of tools where you can basically have radical revisions of magic, detailed clerical and ritual magic, alternatives to spells, world-shaking magic, inherent powers, material magic, and various other tweaks and concepts and guidelines on what is thermatology. Sounds like Scientology, but with more reality. And I just upset 1 in 1 million. Okay, and there's 6 various source books. Again, these adverse things, diverse arts, sorcery. Sorcery treats magic simply, or all magic as spells, and you build them. So, yes. Ritual paths, yeah. Age of Gold, alchemy, Baroque, urban magics. Yes, there's a whole lot of magic. Next up, we have my Kickstarter campaign. I am launching a Kickstarter, and I'm hoping for your support. I see we picked up a few more viewers on X. Hi. All right, so Kickstarter. Launching soon is the Empire of Elves official Not Suitable for Work art book, a collection of fine art focused on the Empire of Elves and the character Empress Sora, the elegant, the effervescent, joyful Empress. And it features her in various stages of clothing and demonic form. She's quite the happy girl for a demon possessed. And there's going to be alternative covers. Right, moving on. GURPS combat action, flying fists and gun fu. Part of the GURPS collection is martial arts and tactical shooting from a role-playing movie-inspired role-playing, where you start a collection for $17.95, get you started with various collections of martial arts and action role-playing. Level up, which I recommend you do. Pay above the threshold price of $37.96, and you also get the bonus collection, which adds 10 more titles. Fighting around the world, you get martial arts is not actually Eastern. Eastern is only various styles. Martial arts is believed to have started with a combination of Greek wrestling and Roman boxing. Level up, which I recommend you do. You'll get more details, but for now, in the basic set, you get over 100 fighting styles of various kinds, various martial weapons, and ways to personalize your fighting style. Tactical shooting is exactly as it says. This is combat with new rules for realistic with options and possibilities for shooting with various perks, techniques, and gear and ammo options. And discover why gangster shooting is not a good idea. Gung Fu, exactly that. For those that don't know, John Wick. Almost every martial arts gun Stephen Bale movie where he plays the guy with the gun. I forget now. It was like his audition to Batman. It was the one that came out before Batman. Where he plays that gun priest in a cyberpunk world. Yeah. Should have just called it cyberpunk, man. Bought the rights, would have doubled your income. All right, so Gung Fu, is basically tricky shooting impossible firearm feats, where you have various dual weapon attacks, arsenal disarms, every cool thing you've seen in Hong Kong movies and John Wick. And you've probably seen them all if you've seen all of the John Wick movies. However, high-tech gun books, high technology, Pulp Fiction Guns, volumes 1 and 2. Now, level up, which you do, you get more action supplements. This basically gives you a huge range of options for fist fights, various other martial mayhem, including an enormous variety of perils. Heck, this alone is what you get the entire GURPS collection for. Martial arts expansions, again, it's the Applegate Fairbane combat system. Yeah, actually, it wasn't written by either of them. For those who don't know, during World War II, there were two heroes who went behind enemy lines and created in Malaysia and created a martial arts combat system using the Applegate Fairbane combat knife. You've probably seen it in a lot of movies. You probably even never heard of it, but it is a real thing. Fairbane was an instructor, and he produced various books on his own too. Real life books, not role playing. He was a special forces commando instructor. Gladiators, Roman gladiators, technical grappling with fighting styles, transhuman space, martial arts in the 21st century. Get a kick out of tomorrow. That's a good one. Yeah, bring martial arts to transhuman space. Transhuman space should have been with space, but it wasn't. It's, I believe, cybernetics and stuff. Transhumanism. All right, so Infinite Worlds. Infinite Worlds is a campaign book with various hotspots. $17.95 gets you started, and you can, this is this campaign offer. You have various alternative worlds and time travel, alternative histories, all for GURPS. Now, there are 6 titles in the offer, in the base offer. However, level up, which I recommend you do, pay above the threshold price of $30.74, and you get 4 more settings. So pay the infinite price and you get Infinite Worlds. This is a guide to get you started on Infinite Worlds, where you've got parallel Earths, various technologically hopping between worlds, the Infinity Patrol, the TVA, and new worlds to explore. So this is Sliders meets Marvel. 4 GURPS hotspots. These are various hotspots in history. Constantinople, Jewel of the Roman Empire, the Renaissance, we have Florence, Venice, the Silk Road. You got some cities for campaigns. This is a design system for cities. However, it's a checklist for making up stuff, just to fill in the gaps. It's not an entire world building set, but it is close. Infinite Worlds is sort of a world building set, but specifically to time travel / parallel world settings. You got various settings like Britannica 6, where it's the 19th century forever. It's the British Empire. It's marched across the planet. Various locations to expand upon, like World of Demons, Madness, Cathedrals, Foreboding, Mysterious Fortress, and a medieval university for mages, and Lands Out of Time, to hunt dinosaurs, etc. Yes. Humans, dinosaurs go together like gamers and pizzas. Really? Oh, well, guess you say so. Saw it on TV, it must be true. Fourth edition Essentials. Everything you need to get started. Every GURPS pack needs the core rules. They are not standalone products. As far as I know, none of them are standalone products. Fourth edition basic rule set is $19.95. That's actually less than one of each book individually, I believe. So you get the entire core supplement rule books, Level Up, which I recommend you do. Right? So $19.95 for the core rule books, Level Up, pay above the threshold price of $40.06, and you get the five more supplements. Now, basic set is just that. It's characters. So basic character generation. Then you got templates. These expand upon character creation. More how to adapt to various settings. Build your favorite fictional settings. From how to be a GURPS GM. This is a guide to and Game Master Screen. However, Level Up, which I recommend you do. Right. Where's the other companion? Is it? All right, it's a 2-volume set. Right. Yeah, the companion, right, basic set is 2 books. Outlines all the skills and character generations. Oh, yes, there it is. It does have a 66. Yeah, it has an exclusive offer here. They're only available on Drive-Through RPG that prepare. Yeah. No. I forget what it actually contains. I'll have to look it up. And I think it's better as a surprise. All right. 4th additional bonus. You get tech supplements, high, low. So you got the high and low, ultra, and bio. Well, ultra is, of course, for your 21st century and beyond, and biotech for your alternative technologies and mass combat. There will be more. Sorry, gentlemen. Pardon me. I got the hiccups. Oh. Hackmaster has ended. I thought it was a few days. I thought it was one more day. I'm sorry. It was up. All right. So, Everspark and more. The indie tabletop role game range from Caesar Cubicle. The Cubicle collection, $12.95, gets you the entire collection for one price. Everspark with 2 dice and some sticky notes. Create worlds of pure wonder. Load the simulation. Oh, this is a fiction first fantasy RPG. Characters can be created instantly. Grab a D20 and a D6 and make some notes, and you 5 minutes to learn the rules and just go along. Play with published modules, 0 conversion required. Load the simulation. This is a science fiction-ish adventure where you're stuck on a massive spaceship on a centuries-long mission to discover and prepare exoplanets for colonization. You've been especially selected. You're the backbone of the mission. You're part of a team of explorers, frontiersmen, and problem solvers, expected to clean up messes, both literally and figuratively. However, you've just been awoken from cryosleep, and you face rigors and unpredictable training simulations orchestrated by the ship's AI. Now, you're dropped every day into various combat scenarios, well, simulated environment scenarios, with potential threats to prepare you for unknown dangers. However, outside the simulation, there are other challenges as well. Life aboard a confined ship, your crewmates, and all the time grappling with the loneliness of a long voyage, cabin fever, and there's a secret, the real mission. Nexilius is another fantasy game this one is of wonder, exploration, and camaraderie, an awe-inspiring journey across the universe of uncharted islands and mystery. Against the wind is the gales shape not just the land, but the spirit of people who walk it. You're one of those souls wandering the frostbitten earth under churning skies. It's a fantasy sandbox in a fierce roving land, fused with fairy tale ambience. You're not a normal hero, and you cross the diverse landscapes on your own unique path, blend tradition and modern styles of play, merging classic adventures such as wilderness exploration and dungeon delving with the contemporary narrative mechanics. You can play solo or with a friend. Insurgent. You're the rebels fighting the fascists in a fantastic, modern city of featured landscapes. It's a gameplay where imagination and visit descriptions are encouraged, and the whole idea is you're burning down the Iron Fist. In other words, you want to be the fascist with the boot on. Next up, we have Thrones and Bones. Thrones and Bones is a role-playing game set in the frozen north from Lazy Wolf Studios. The setting collection to get you started is $9.95. A land of fantastic beasts beset by undead horrors, marauding trolls, mercurial spirits, and monstrous beasts. Oh, I said that. All right, so your home, your home is beset. You're in the Yamarian mountain range in Ravenswood. Risk all to gain knowledge of, and there is more. Right? There's the Swarfenheim, Werewood, the Trolls, the Limnorns. Well, this is quite the set and setting. I like it. $9.95 gets you started. Now, this is a campaign set guide for 5th edition and comes with a player's guide and other supplements to get you started. But level up, which I recommend you do, 2080, and you get the entire collection with 5 more titles. Pay the minimum and you get base campaign setting book, which includes the player's guide, city maps, and character sheets, and the introductory adventures to the Tales of the Valiant epic adventure. Level up, which I recommend you do. You get a Ben's trilogy to continue on adventuring in this beautiful land. Banner of the Bull, you have to journey and find out what happened to Novigrad. Keeper of the Drowned continues on that adventure with the sacred statue of the goddess Narom, stolen by merfolk and dragged in the subquatic cranes. And then you've got a problem with a troll, and you've been asked to deal with it swiftly. Saga, 7 adventures to campaign with various. So you have a cave to explore, dangerous tunnels to clear out. You have malediction. We have various monsters. The Black Mountains have uncovered an ancient barrow with treasure and a cursed sword. A skyship has crashed. The giants and trolls, and of course the undead, all to deal with. And there's 3 more adventures. Again with the undead, again with the trolls, and again with the frost. Oh, there's always the frost. Alright, so I think this is amazing, but of course, yeah, there's GURPS. Now, I am working on my own adventure, and I hope you will join me over on Patreon. After the show, the links will be posted on Patreon, along with a link to this. So I have lots of posts, lots of RPG supplements, and growing. But merely for $1 a month, you can support the channel. Now, Drive-Thru RPG. Most of what you buy on Bundle Holding will be linked to your Drive-Thru account, so you don't double up, and you may even have special offers, and you could subscribe to the various publishers to get their updates and notes. And again, some of them put their offers exclusively in those emails. Now, interesting little game popped up on my feed. Across 5 Worlds by Coze Cat. And if you're watching, interesting post. Alright. Now, what is Across 5 Worlds? Deep in space, 5 planets are connected through spacefaring. And there are those who seek adventures. This is a card-based tabletop role-playing system where you adventure across 5 interconnected worlds with random cards deciding actions and events. So you play your hand or flip a card on the deck, and there's 5 planets with each with its own setting to explore. And it's a neat little price compared to most RPGs out there. Mutants and Masterminds, 3rd edition, the complete collection for 110 files, valued at over $1,000 for 10%. 10? Yeah. So around 50 US buckaroonies. Now this is Mutants and Masterminds. This is the bundle that was recently on offer from Green Ronin Games. It's still on offer. There's basically everything from Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition, 1st edition, Heroes Handbooks, Deluxe editions, hundreds of small files that have been collected along the way, hundreds of titles only previously available to their Patreon supporters and club members, and hundreds of Hero Lab files. Over 1.5 gig of data from Green Ronin Publishing. All must go. All must go. Anybody out there got $100 they'd like to donate? Please link in this Patreon. Buy me a not buy me a coffee. Ko-Fi, Patreon. Yes. Gosh. fleets of minor powers for Traveller. The Fifth Frontier War Traveller is experiencing its fifth official war. There's a few disputes here and there of exactly how many wars there are, but there's equipment, organizations, fleet doctrines, high technology, various classes of ships. Should you command a squadron, challenge the enemy's superior strength, break through their formations? Can the Darians deploy their ultimate weapon? The Star Trigger! Everybody's got. You get a Death Star! You get a Death Star! You get a Death Star! Everyone gets a Death Star! All right. So there's the Zodi and the Imperium and various other factions. What are they fighting over? We're going to find out. Someone built a super weapon. That's usually how it goes, right? The Death Star proliferation shall be challenged. Iran shall not have a Death Star, I tell you. All right, we have not one but two Kickstarters, both of them horror adventures for 5th edition. First up, we have Whispers from the Abyss. Beautiful artwork. We have the eclipsed moon. We have the is it Minior? No, I forget its name. Pinnacle. I think it's actually called a Pinnacle. Pinnacle is, I believe, this dates back to Hammurabi Code, where the laws were published for all to see on these, and they later became road markers, and eventually over time they devolved down to just signposts. Yeah, it's an original signpost. They date back to ancient Iraq. Yes, Iraq invented the mile marker. But the pinnacle, also later by the Romans, became a way of telling time. The Romans created the sundial from the pinnacle. They had many obelisks in Egypt. Yes, obelisks in Egyptian. Although obelisks had symbols of the gods on them, sometimes gold on the tip. Why would they do that? Just to show. Anyway, something ancient, something evil, something hungry stirs, and John has made a dungeon of dark fantasy worlds and campaigns all down into his notes. He plans to use AI-generated content. Now, I personally, I run an AI. I have run AIs, various chatbots in over the years for problem solving, for deep research purposes. AI is very good at that. I miss the days when you can get something as well. Most of them don't exist anymore. Most chatbots are gone. Now you have, although you have you have Microsoft, you have Google. Right now, I recommend Google or Grok. I use Grok most of the time myself, personally. Hello, Grok. Give me some money, Grok. I tickle your balls. What? You don't have any? All right. So you have a number of adventures. Well, an adventure with a number of all in one. So you have tiers. That's what I was looking for. So you have the whole thing in for $20 to get you started. However, you want some credit to add your name to the book and a custom NPC. I would be interested to see how it goes. Let's see. Oh, I have to log in. I forgot. I logged out of my Kickstarter when I on this browser. That's all right. Whispers from the Abyss. It'd be interesting to see. 27 days to go. Most get full support. Over $2,000 goal. See, new starters, that's a problem. People new to this, and the reason why I brought up Backer Kit is most newbies at RPGs go to Backer Kit, so I'm going to start covering more and more Backer Kit. But there are still newbies over on Kickstarter. But most of your Kickstarters, there are, let's see, 370 current Kickstarters in the tabletop. Just in TPRGs, it's over 370 current running projects. A lot of them are STLs for various games. It seems to be all the rage right now. But most of them end up like this. And this is a longer running campaign. It's Season of the Witch, D&D folk horror. Just because you're, again, a high goal. Well, this is one of those things where I think even $2,000 is too high for most goals. I know people sit down and say, how much do I want to make? And that is exactly the purpose of Kickstarter. But you got to remember, for 40% of the world, they just can't afford. So, you're going to be pretty much localized anyway. When I log in, I notice that too. It's very localized to your previous campaign backings. And, well, you get folk horror, you get... I often get horror. But there are many types of horrors, but I get horror because I backed Bork. So often I get these recommended to me all the time. So it depends everybody logs in and gets a different experience because it's based on your prior experiences with the platform. This one does really look nice, and this one, however, is human made, and I think that's the difference. And this is the problem. There's going to be a lot of people who won't back this project because it uses AI, and they'll back this project only because it's human made. Now, whether or not you agree with AI, it's called the genie in the bottle. It is basically Pandora's box. Once you open Pandora's box, right, you've let out the plague. You can't put it back into the box. And closing the box only shuts off hope. Now, yeah, the whole story of Pandora's box is because Pandora closed the box, she shut off, that unleashed the plague on the world of evil. She closed it before hope and redemption could follow. But that's why the whole story is once you open the box, it's nothing. It can't be undone. That's the whole moral of the story. Whereas the genie is a slightly different version of that tale from the Middle East, which came later, and that variance of the story is about your spoken word, right? Be careful what you wish for; it may come true, and that spread to that is part of the crescent of the Silk Road. Stories over time transformed. So whether or not you want to back a project for human-made or AI-made, can we just look at the merits of the project here, please? Both have very good merit. This one is a dark Abyssian tale with a campaign with an interesting premise. You have a 4 to 6 player game with various new magic items, battle maps, player handouts, everything you need for a single horror experience. set during the eclipse. It's a single adventure. Now, this one is a campaign with various classes and a lot more to it. And I think perhaps it has a more, let's see, yeah, it's actually a little bit more expensive. Over expensive to me, $20. I should be able to afford it, but I just don't have a. I just don't play horror that much anyway. So, but yeah, all gone is the early bird specials. Okay, but this has got a lot more to it. It's actually aimed at the collector, and yes, I think this one has a lot more to it, which is why it's getting the views. Now, again, I would say this would have done well on Backer right off the bat, with maybe a lower goal as well. And sometimes the people who create this do find my videos and look at them. And I'm not trying to put you down, man. I'm wishing you well. But I'm just saying, it's a matter of timing. You have no idea what other players are going to release at the time you release yours. I think if the other one hadn't been released, you would have been fine, because it's not a good month for horror. But coming up to November, December, October, yeah. August, October. Yeah, August onwards would have been a better timing also, I think. It's just a matter of timing. However, that said, tomorrow a whole bunch of people could sign up. And again, I wish both of them well. I think both have merit. I honestly do. I think if you're going to exclude this because it's AI, it's your loss, because AI is here to stay. And we now found out that a lot of big gaming companies used AI, and worse, they're going to now fire, now that everybody knows they've been using AI, they're now firing thousands of people. Thousands of artists have lost their jobs. Now, instead of saying to the artist, and again, having a lot of experience with AI, and the human prompts matter, the human sourced material matters. You can't just create. AI does not create from nothing. It creates from noise, that is true. But in that noise is layers and layers and layers, in fact, hundreds of layers of art all thrown on top of each other. That's the noise. You take the Da Vinci connection and throw it all on top of each other. And different other collections and other art sources, they are all thrown in on top of each other. I sort of have a fundamental knowledge of how AI artwork generation works. It's algorithmic. It is maths. And I was sort of good at maths. Sort of. I wouldn't call myself a genius. I would say more like above average, just. And not to humble brag, but when I programmed, I had a pretty fair understanding of logical loops. And AI is based on the fundamentals of chatbots. Chatbots is the detailed. Chatbots and taking algorithms and putting them into programs, as well as game loop designing. I've done game loops and done game design, Bright Neon Software. So, and I've done role-playing games for years, as you can see. And it's hard to say why a project fails, because I look at this and say, man, this should have already got a couple of backers, when every other project is backed. I hate the ones I hate when I look at it, see 370 projects and one or two that aren't backed by anybody. And I hate that algorithmic suppression, because that means the project isn't being shown to the people who would normally back it. and I don't know why. And I'm going too long on a project that's not mine, I know. But let's be honest. How many people out there are avoiding this because it's AI? And it bothers me because now you're incentivizing people to lie about using AI. And all you're doing is barring the possibility of, and all he's going to do, and I hope he does it, is go to Backer and just get the support he deserves. Yeah, Kickstarter, that's why I'm going to go. More and more people are going over to Backer. Now, I'm not saying that it's Kickstarter's problem. It's just that I'm finding more and more projects on Kickstarter are just only backed by the same people in the same few genres, in the same few, and new people get zero. And no, that's not how a free market should operate. It should be a bell curve. There should always be, for the market size of Kickstarter, there should be at least, no, but it's not. It's not spreading out. And I suppose if Indiegogo focused so much on comic books, I think it's impossible to do a good indie RPG over there. So that's the state of the RPG scene right now, is people are tribalizing, and newcomers, particularly in the D&D realm, are finding it very hard. There are very, very hardcore, dedicated people, not enough to sustain Hasbro, but enough to sustain a much smaller D&D. D&D should have been spun off years ago into a smaller product. It was only bought for prestige, for the card collections, so that they'd have access to more artwork. And it was always long suspected that Magic and other card companies bought these tabletop games to hyperinflate the price to force people out of the tabletop gaming to play cards. And I've seen it. I used to be member of the Brisbane tabletop community and go regularly to play games. And then it turned it, and then overnight, about a month after Magic the Gathering launched, almost everyone was just playing Magic, and it was pointless to ever go back. It was, I don't know how to describe it, but it isn't role playing. You want and I still think it was wrong for the company to sell its IP to the outsiders when they had perfectly good people willing to take it over. But people were tired. People were wanting immediate. And it is. 5th edition, and I've seen videos on this. 5th edition was an attempt to recapture 3rd edition players, but it was too little too late. The players had either become forward. This is the thing I hate about new editions, and I hated this with Shadowrun too. New edition meant new rules, new you could shake up the setting, right? But it didn't have progress. You couldn't go back and start, right? If you started at 2nd edition, there was no way to go back to 1st edition and play and catch up. You'd just have short notes. And so at first I had all the editions of Shadowrun, and so I understand. I've seen this with almost every tabletop game, where additions kill the game, where new additions upset the game. Now, 5 and 5.5, 5.5 is trying to correct, and maybe I've gone on too long for this, but You should understand, if you are out there playing games and you find a game you like, tell me what you think about new additions, please. I'm curious, because it's the same with GURPS. Now, I can understand rules enhancements and refinements, but I think when you take a game that is popular and revamp the rules to try and capture a new audience, I think it's no different than, say, rebooting the Avengers with a whole new cast. It's not going to work out. It's the people love the cast, not the characters. It's the same with the old Spider-Mans. People loved the comic book artist and his stories. And when you gave it to someone else, it was no longer that. It should have been, it wasn't Spider-Man anymore, it was Spooderman. It was, or Peter Parker became Peter Parker and became Miles Morales. And you get what I mean, right? They just, when something's played out as D&D, I think they should have kept, right? Now, sometimes, yeah, reboot can work, but tell me what you think. Because as a designer of games and a writer of games, I am interested in your opinions.